Welcome to the Crypto Layer HQ. In this video, we will be discussing dominance and what it tells us about the market. So first of all, Bitcoin dominance, we can see it's been in an uptrend since 2023, and we haven't really had a breakdown as we did in prior cycles. As we can see in 2021, we dropped from 73% all the way down to about 40%. And also in 2018, we had a breakdown from 71% all the way down to 35%. And these breakdowns of Bitcoin dominance marked a very risk-on part of the cycle and euphoria, which resulted in an altcoin season. We can see we didn't get that this season. We just kind of had Bitcoin dominance grind up for the last few years, and now it's holding, where a lot of people were potentially expecting an altcoin season where we had this drop here and continue to drop. We didn't end up getting that, and now we're still holding, and I believe we're going to continue to hold. So Bitcoin dominance, it just tells us what percentage Bitcoin is of the total crypto market cap. I think another useful metric to look at is USDC dominance plus USDT dominance plus Bitcoin dominance, because this essentially tells us the dominance of stablecoins plus Bitcoin. And we can see it's similar. It's all the way at 70% now. So last cycle, it did end up wicking all the way to 76%, but we can see we're at similar levels to last cycle before we had our alt season and eventually going lower. But we can see 70% is definitely on the higher range, but I also think we will end up spending more time here. So this essentially tells us that 30% of the crypto market is altcoins and Ethereum, which is a pretty small percentage if you think about it, since Bitcoin and stablecoins are taking up 70% of the market cap. If we add Ethereum dominance, we get this chart. So this is the dominance of stablecoins plus Bitcoin plus Ethereum. So this is another useful chart because it shows us that 80% of less risky assets control the majority of the crypto market cap. 80% essentially tells us that 20% of the crypto market is altcoins excluding ETH. So 20% is a very small percentage of the entire market cap to be allocated to the millions of altcoins out there. If we look at last cycle, we can see in 2021 that we actually went all the way up and wicked almost to 90%, which essentially means back in January 2021, there was a point in time, even if very briefly, that the entire altcoin market, not counting Ethereum, was only 10%. So every single altcoin out there that existed, their entire combined market cap only accounted for 10% of crypto. And 90% of crypto was Bitcoin, stablecoins, and Ethereum. So this gives you a very good idea of if we are in a risk-on environment or a risk-off environment. As we can see, we have since 2022 and even mid-2021 all the way to today. So for almost 5 years now, money has been moving to less risky assets such as Bitcoin, stablecoins, and even Ethereum, and moving away from riskier assets such as altcoins. And we can see that since we have been in a range since July 2023, where stables, Bitcoin, and Ethereum have taken up 80% of the total crypto market cap. We might end up getting something similar to what happened last cycle and maybe getting a wick up. So we could end up getting something similar to this. Hard to know when it'll happen, but could happen some point in the future where essentially stablecoins, Bitcoin, and Ethereum end up taking the majority of the market cap of crypto, wiping everyone out from altcoins, liquidating everyone. Everyone eventually capitulates, and then a very small percentage of the crypto market cap will be allocated to altcoins. And that's when we'll finally be able to maybe have an alt season. But this could be far in the future, could be in as far as 2028, 2029, where we end up getting a alt season. So for now, we're in a risk off environment, as we can see that we're very stable at 80% and holding. So the best places to allocate your money right now is either Bitcoin or to keep it in cash.